Hopefully everybody's got an agenda. I'm just trying to move my meeting a bit so I can see the agenda, hang on a quick second. Let's see here. Get that agenda up. So I'm trying to share the screen so you can see the agenda. Hang on. Let's see. Okay. Oh, wait. The agenda online is from March, so that's not going to work.
We didn't get that changed yet?
Yeah. Okay. Hang on a second. Sit tight with me for a minute. We'll have to call up out here. I've done enough of these so you think I'd be an old hat at Zoom meetings by now. Here we go. Not calling up the way I wanted to. Hang on. It's might be a little strange looking by the time I get it here. Hang on a second. Okay. I will throw it in Microsoft Word. So the problem is I'm on a different computer that I typed out the agenda on, so I can't access my original document. I have to cut and paste it from the email and put it into Word, and then I'll share my screen so you can see it. So, in a nutshell, it probably won't look great. Ah, you know what? It didn't look too bad. Okay, here we go. Okay. So, let's see. Share screen. Hold on. We're coming. Bob, is Abe coming to Tomahawk?
I'm going to ask him. He's outside here.
As long as we're waiting.
Your scoutmaster wants to know. If I can get there, I will. Yeah. No, that's a no. No, I said no. I don't think you hear me.
All right, Pete, we can see your screen. I can see your screen just fine.
Okay. See the call to order, roll call.
I do, thank you.
Is that what you can see?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Okay. So obviously we have a quorum. The agenda, is there any additions to the agenda? I mean, I actually have my paper copy here, which doesn't do you guys any good, but.
I have a report on the Menards thing.
Oh, okay. So that'll be under, I suppose, unfinished business.
Right.
6. Menards. Anything else added?
Probably the other thing that we talked about last night and for a future meeting.
Is what?
The going back to the minutes of August 13th of 2000 or 99 when the commission was formed.
Okay. All right. I guess that's under old business. I'm not sure how much we get. It's going to be hard to do that over this online business without us looking at the minutes from 1999. But I have them here, but on paper copy I don't think I could figure out a way to get it online here.
August 14th.
Huh?
It's August 14th of 2000.
August 14th of 2000. Well, like I said, I got them, but I don't know if we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Anything else?
Nope.
Is anybody from the Maplewood Area Historical Society on?
Yes, Richard Curry and Bob Cardinal.
Okay. Who's going to give the
And yourself.
and yourself, and Margaret.
I mean, who's going to give the society update?
We don't know.
I mean, who was at the last board meeting?
Oh, I have one other question,
Okay.
and that's probably for our council rep. When we approved the that cement sidewalk, what did the council decide on that one?
All right. Cement sidewalk would be under unfinished business F8.
Did the council say they didn't have to put a post or something in, or what? I don't know.
Well, okay. We'll talk about that. Anything else? Without a packet, some of the stuff will be a little limited. Let's see. Okay. We don't have any minutes to approve, I don't think. So we did, I'm trying to think. February was the last meeting we officially had, right?
Correct.
Okay, so we never did have our March
No.
meeting. Okay. So the last minutes we could have possibly had would have been February. So I guess
And then February one, that's when we discussed the Menards
okay.
deal.
I would suggest we table the minutes until we actually have the minutes.
And I'll second that.
Okay. All those in favor? Oh, go ahead.
I think either Margaret or Leon took the minutes. Margaret, did you take the minutes?
I think those were taken by somebody else, the office, but I can sure look them up, and send them to Pete.
Good.
I guess I do have one more new business to add is appreciation for Leon for his work on the commission. So that would be a new business E3. Leon. Okay. So, oh yeah, all those in favor of tabling the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Was that ayes all?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Moving along here. Oh gosh, we never approved the agenda, did we? So is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I do.
Okay, is there a second?
Yes.
Okay.
Say,
So
Pete,
Margaret made the motion.
Pete,
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair, can you have Margaret just tap her volume
Microphone?
down? It's because there's that feedback.
Yeah. Margaret, can you turn down your mic a little bit?
I turned it down. Well, I'll go down a little more.
It sounds better already.
Yep.
Maybe I'll hold it away from me.
Okay, so Margaret made the motion. Bob made the second to approve the agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. E1. I was kind of hoping Bob Jensen would be around. Leon was the one that was our representative on the Rush Line archaeology report. I did get sent the report. It's rather lengthy. I'm not exactly sure on the actionable item we're supposed to do on it. I read it. And I guess you can imagine how much is in there because it goes all the way from St. Paul to White Bear Lake. So plenty of discussion in there. The part that we care about, of course, is what's in Maplewood. And especially the part we care about is they did an archaeological dig of the privies that were at the original depot at the Gloucester station. And there's 3 privies. They found 2 of them. And one of them, they did find artifacts. I think they found 7 bottles that date, from what I can tell, late teens and early 20s. So they did find some artifacts. And I'm still got some questions on the report. I sent one to Bob. I'm assuming the state gets to keep all the artifacts found. I was kind of hoping the historical society wind up with them somehow. Um, and would need a little more help interpreting what they're finding really mean for the bigger project. And I wasn't part of the original discussion, so I don't know all that's been said. But still got a bit of feedback going on. So has anybody got any questions on the archaeology report?
It would be, this is Rick.
Hi, Rick.
It would be nice to have it in so we could read it. Second, I had talked to Mark Coop from the state, and he said that trail there, because it's the St. Paul Duluth rail line, could actually go, we could actually put that on the National Registry. It would
Okay.
classify as that. If that happens, they might not be able to move that, put that bus line in there.
There was a lot of talk about the Lake Superior, Mississippi Railroad, which was the original grading done for the St. Paul and Duluth Railroad. Yes, they definitely talk about that in the report. There's some original embankments that are from the original, yeah, I guess when they first built the railroad. So I guess I should look at that closer. I don't know what they will release to the public of this report. I had to sign in with a password and everything just to see it. So that's a good question. I don't know what they can release and not release from it. So yeah, I need to find out some more information, I guess.
The other, Pete, the other thing was, I did Whitebeard Township, and they're not happy with this Rush City line either.
Are they not happy with the line or the report?
At the time, they didn't have the report. They just didn't want all this, the parking ramps and all that other stuff that's going to displace everything.
Oh.
But that's
Yeah,
a
I don't
small
know.
community.
Yeah, I didn't look that closely at out of anything outside kind of our Maplewood range there. So you know, I was mainly interested in anything they found when they dug. I think Bob Jensen might have been there when they did the digging. So did he bring up anything at the last board meeting about it, or?
No, he did not.
Okay. So I guess we'll have to find out. You know, I guess Mike Erickson too could be know some more about this. So I'm not sure if they never talked to me that I remember, the Rush Line folks, the architects group. I probably would have gave them some suggestions on what they were doing. They did cite my book, so I know they read my book. And luckily they didn't trash my book too hard. So I guess that's a good thing. I did disagree with some other railroad researchers, which was interesting. And some of those railroad guys are pretty good. So I'm not saying I'm the right one. They might be in the right. So if anything, a lot more history was dug up, I guess, in Maplewood. So I guess we'll have to find out what the next step is. And that I don't know. I suppose I'll hear something from the city eventually, because somebody will have to sign off on it. But if I could get more details, if we meet again, I could try to show some pictures of the bottles they found. I don't think that would be embargoed. You know, that was the best thing about it, is the picture of the bottles was kind of neat. And as you might not be surprised, they're whiskey bottles and beer bottles. So kind of what you would expect to find in a privy. So you know, maybe we'll have more information. I just got it this week, so I haven't done much of it yet. So that's all I got on the Rush Line for now. Like I miss Leon because he went to the meeting, so he had more of an insight on how they did it. Any more questions on it, or I'll move on? No, yay, nay. E2 new development. Probably the only new development nugget I have is I I haven't attended the council meeting, so I don't know if they approved the project to replace Saints North skating rink. Does anybody know? I think it was on.
Didn't even know it was up on the council agenda.
Yeah, they had a public hearing. Public hearings in this new world is kind of odd because how do you get notification out for a public hearing that's only online? But they had a public hearing. It's a development for a senior center where the Saints North roller rink is. It passed through the planning commission, and they did have a meeting on it at the city council late last month, and I don't know what happened, but something to get on the radar, whether or not that's going to happen or not.
Mr. Chair,
Yes,
it is proceeding.
it is proceeding. Okay,
Yes.
okay. Thanks, Sylvia. That's good to know.
Mr. Chair, that's
Yes.
why it's imperative that we get what they originally gave us to do activated.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of our problem is we find out too late in the project development, and usually things are already gone by the time we find out about them, unless we're very savvy about reading the newspaper every day kind of thing.
But if you look at what I was talking about, trying to get like for next meeting or what have you, if we'd have had that intact, we would have known, because we're supposed to know when they do land changes and building permits and tear downs before they give permits out.
Yes.
Mr. Chair,
Who is it? Who's talking?
that's Sylvia. It's Sylvia.
Oh, hi, Sylvia.
Just a point of information.
Okay.
So on Wednesdays before the council meeting, everything that's going to be on the council agenda is online.
Yes.
So
And
the
that's where I
week
get my
before, the
information.
Wednesday before, yeah.
The delay comes with the posting of the minutes and what happens at the council, because it's usually about 2 months behind, month or so. I think there's still March was the last I looked. There might be April in there now, but it's like you don't find out what happened since we no longer have a real city newspaper. Back in the day, we'd have the Maplewood Review, so I could stay on top of things easier and read the public hearing announcements.
Sure.
One thing I would suggest to the city, if you ever do a public hearing announcement, put it in the Sunday paper, not the Friday paper, because nobody reads the Friday St. Paul Pioneer Press. They all read the Sunday. So if there's any more hearings, that would be my recommendation now that we no longer have the Maplewood Review. Otherwise, you don't find out until it's too late. I read the report. So one thing, like with the Saints North, the only people that showed up to the public hearing, I think, were the developers of the project. There was no public present, although letters were written to this council after the fact. I think there's 3 letters, one in support from the church nearby, and one resident was opposed that lived in that apartment complex. They gave the 500-foot notifications, and that was what came back. So I'm cautious about it's getting harder to keep track of what's going on in the city because of the loss of the Maplewood Review. It kind of disappeared and with a sigh, and I know not everybody misses it, but I certainly missed it for knowing what's going on, because the Pioneer Press is fine, but they don't cover Maplewood like the Maplewood Review did. So unless you wait for the city newsletter to come out, or you're looking at online, that's what you can do. So I'll get off my soapbox about that. There's other new development things in the works. It's obviously a very busy time in the city, probably the busiest I could ever remember in the city history of development. It's like apartment buildings are going up everywhere, and plans for apartment buildings are going up everywhere. So it's hard to keep track, and we're really in the dark. I always say, out of all the commissions, we are the most in the dark. We have no idea what's going on. So it'd be nice to have a little more, at least, I guess, being informed of what's happening. Not that we have the resources. If we have to write our own agendas, I can't do our own packets. I mean, I got a regular job. I can't be running around the city 9 to 5 doing this stuff. I can't have meetings with the city. So basically, my time as chair is the days are numbered because I can't be chair as the commission as it is. It's just impossible. I can't, as long as I'm not retired, I can't maintain it. So anyway, that's a
Mr.
bit of,
Chair,
yes, I see a couple lights come on. I don't know who was first.
well, since
Oh, you're on the
now
phone.
that,
That's right. I can't tell when you, go ahead, Richard.
okay, since now we do have a staff liaison that should be able to line up some of this stuff, because that's what open meeting, the staff person is supposed to basically set our agenda. And we're supposed to tell them if we have anything. Two, we now have a council representative that should also try to keep us all informed, so we're up with the times.
Yes, and I appreciate Sylvia. I'm very thankful you're here with us, and Mike, I'm glad you're now our liaison too, because for a few months there was a little tough sledding, trying to figure out what to do. But I don't want to stay on new business all night. We got other business to do, so move on to F1. This is probably my main goal for tonight is for us to get the Heritage Preservation Award settled for we're working on late last year. I don't want to wait so long. We'll be running into this year's awards. So, did anybody have any nominations? Did any nominations come in through the city newsletter? That I don't know. Does anybody know? Mike?
Mr. Chair, this is Mike Sable. I did not get any nominations through the city newsletter.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. I only had one nomination. Actually, there's probably more, but the nomination I put forth before was Janice Quick. She's done a lot of history work, even though she's not a Maplewood resident. She's done a lot of Maplewood history. So that was one nominator I'd have, or person to nominate. Did anybody have anybody else to nominate? Oh, wait, what? Richard?
Okay, the other one that I was just thinking about is, she was chair of the planning commission, Lorraine Fisher.
Oh, okay. Hang on. Did she already get the award?
No,
She did. Okay.
but
The awards
she
here.
always said to me, how come your commission isn't getting anything? So she
Okay,
was,
Lorraine Fisher. Okay. That's a good one.
I don't know, Bob, you got any?
What did Lorraine Fisher do for history, though? I gotta ask that.
What did she do? She
Yeah.
spent an awful lot of time planning stuff that was on, and she supported the commission, starting of the commission.
The History Commission?
Yep,
Okay. Was she ever on the History Commission?
nope.
Okay.
You know, Pete, I'd like to add,
Yes? Go ahead, Bob.
hang on a second, Pete.
Okay. Still got a little bit of feedback. I don't know who it is, but I still got Bob.
Yeah, Lou Aurelius should be considered.
Lou Aurelius. Okay.
I think she did serve on the commission prior.
Yes, she did.
And she supposedly has her,
Oh, that's a good question.
If she's not on the commission, she can be considered. If you're on the commission, like we wanted to give the award to you, Pete,
Yeah, you
we
can't
couldn't-
do it.
we can't give it to you because you're on the commission.
Yeah, and I thought she applied to be on the commission she should already be on it now, right?
I don't know.
we don't know if the council did anything with it.
Mr. Chair, ask Mike
Yeah.
Sable if he could check into that.
Mike, could you check if Lou did she apply to be a commissioner?
Mr. Chair, this is Mike Sable. She did apply. The council has not taken action on it because of the COVID-19, that we have not had that as an agenda item, but it's certainly going to be on the agenda in the future.
Oh, great. That's great news.
Well, Mr. Chair, I don't
Yes.
think she should be
Excluded.
excluded if she is not on the commission now, and we could, she hasn't been on the commission now for a while.
Has she actually already filled out an applicant though?
Well, I imagine she probably has.
I would exclude her if she's already filled it out. I mean, I'm not saying she's not worthy of it, but I wouldn't. She would probably be on the commission by the time we give the award. That's what. I would just say probably not. Although it's a bummer that she wasn't on in previous years, though. I'm surprised. I hope she could join us soon, though. That's encouraging news.
I think there was a point where she was considered.
Okay.
I think in the past. I would move that we table that Heritage Preservation Award until next meeting.
Until we have if she joins us for the next meeting, you're saying?
No, I think it should be tabled.
Oh, okay. All right, we could table. Well, how about for now, let's get our list of, so we actually have some names. So right now I have a Lorraine Fisher, Janice Quick, and I guess we'll have to look into Lou, although I'd be hesitant. We'd kind of violate our own rules if I'd rather have her on.
Not on the commission.
She's not on the commission. Maybe we could delay her until.
No, I just feel uncomfortable about that part.
Well, there's no action. There's no action.
Any other nominees?
I'll move the table.
But first, is there a
There's
second?
a motion on.
Okay, is there a second to the table?
I'll second.
Okay. Any further discussion? I guess the only thing I'd say is the more nominees, the better. It gives us some time to do the research. It's too easy to throw out names, but then we got to actually have something to back up the names of what they did. So I like the Lorraine Fisher, but we need to have a little more detail. So if that's really a nominee, we need to have a bit more, I guess. So that's all I'll say about that. Any other discussion? All those in favor of tabling it till when? Next meeting, I'm guessing? Is what was inferred? Okay. All those in favor of tabling the Maplewood Heritage Award till the July meeting, say aye.
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 Opposed? Nay. So the ayes have it with one nay. My only reasoning for saying nay is I want to get this moving because we should have had this done back in February or January, and we're going to run into the next award at this rate. It takes us so long to get it going. But I'm happy to revisit it in July, of course. And maybe we'll even get to see each other in July. Yeah,
they opened the restaurants and what have you. We could meet there, and they could bring Mike could bring a camera.
Well, an outdoor meeting today would have been a great day for an outdoor meeting. We could have socially distanced in an outdoor meeting. Great today. Okay, so moving right along here, if I could find my, okay, my agenda's right in front of me, of course. Unfinished business. Okay, we did F1. F2, is there anything new on the Moose Lodge, John?
No, with everything going on, I didn't want to ask anybody to go over there with me to open it up and stuff like that. So
Okay.
I'll be able to do it hopefully within the next couple weeks.
Okay, it's still there.
Yeah, I know. I go by it every so often, make sure.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Bob.
hey, Mr. Chair, I'd like to suggest if Commissioner Gaspar could check on the former Maplewood Maplewood building there, the old furniture barn or whatever it was.
Oh, the town hall?
Yeah, town hall.
Okay.
When he's over
Gladstone
there.
House.
Yeah, the old
Yeah.
Gladstone house. When you're there, John, if you could spend some time over there and give us a condition. I thought it was supposed to be demolished, but apparently
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I can when I talk to him, I'll see if I can get into both places. At about 4 or 5 years ago, I was in the town hall, took a whole bunch of pictures. I could never find them.
Oh, I got some pictures. I was in it back when it was a furniture store still. And Sylvia, you said you had a history of the Gladstone Baptist Church, right?
I do.
We'd love to add that to one of our future meetings. Because it really was the Gladstone Baptist Church too. That's where Donna Funk bought it from the church.
Yep.
So
I'll get you a copy of what I have.
ooh, that'd be awesome. Can I share with the commissioners too in the society? They'd
Of
like to
course.
see it. Yeah, they'd love to see it. I can't wait to see it.
All right.
Bob Jensen wrote a great Donna Funk article on the Gladstone catering in the newsletter for the society. So it'd be kind of a nice little the history before that would be kind of neat to tie it
Okay.
in.
Well, don't be disappointed. It isn't anything like book sized or anything. It's pretty brief. So, but I will be happy to share that with you.
Great. The only other building, I guess, as long as we're in the general area, is the Maplewood Wine Cellar building. I took a lot of pictures of that. That I suppose we could share at a future meeting, and I think I don't know when that's coming down. They had an auction and they auctioned off all the contents, including the sign and everything. So the wine. So, nope, yes, that's feedback on. Anything else in the Moose Lodge? Are they going to rebuild the Moose Lodge? Did we ever find out?
I haven't heard a thing about it.
Okay.
The plans are done.
Oh,
I think they have, there's a sign up on County Road D in Hazelwood,
okay.
future home of the Moose Lodge.
Okay. I just wonder if they'll tie in the history of the old Moose Lodge when they build a new one somehow. I'm curious if they'll do some of that or not. F3, Lookout Park. I don't have much more about it other than we had a mock-up of the sign before everything kind of shut down. And that's kind of the other goal of 2020 that kind of ties into the next one. I really want to get our sign done for Lookout Park. It's a modest sign. It's not much, but it was one of the last things we were working on before Ginny left. So I like to finish that still. We were looking for any more pictures, and I got to talk with the Maplewood Historical Society. Maybe there's some pictures of Shar Wozlick's summertime camp there. So maybe put that on. It's close to where the park is. So maybe put that too. If anybody doesn't know what I'm talking about, it's that little tiny park by the Galbraith house, around Frank Street and Ripley, that area. So it's a tiny park.
Off of Phelan Lake, Mr.
Yeah.
Chair, just off Phelan Lake.
Yep. You can almost see Lake Phelan from it. So that's all I got on that, unless anybody's got anything else about it. I know somebody checked it out for me, and they had just some bushes, right? planted there, and you know,
Hey,
there
Chuck?
might be a bench.
You're talking about Lookout Park yet?
Yeah, Lookout Park. Is there a
I-
bench or something there?
I kept driving by to see if the sign's up. I think at the end of February, beginning of March, it still wasn't up. So I'll drive
Well,
by. I'll drive by tomorrow.
that's on me. I haven't finished it yet, so
Oh, okay.
yeah, that's my fault. The sign was almost done. We had the text for it. We had that old map of Lookout Park, and we are just looking for a good picture to put on there. And we never found one. So we'll just have to put something on there. May I'll ask.
Yourself on it.
Huh? You said that, Bob?
Richard said. Go
I
ahead.
said just put a picture of yourself on it.
Put what picture?
Of yourself.
Of myself? I've got nothing to do with Lookout Park, that's for sure.
Yeah, you're looking out over the park.
Oh, looking out over the park? Yeah. Okay. Moving on to F4, 2020 goals. Well, obviously our goals for this year are somewhat subdued. We were pretty ambitious earlier on, and if we actually got the items on the agenda today done by the end of the year, I'd be happy. We don't even have our 2019 annual report done yet. So as far as I know, I think I submitted what I could to the city. Obviously, I don't have the fancy formatting that they do for the other commissions. I think I just sent them a Word document, if I remember. But if there's anything more I need to do on that, I'll see what I can. We were waiting on the demolition report, and thank you. I think, John, right? You're the one that got that moving?
Yeah, I sent it to you, didn't I?
Yeah, I got that,
Okay.
and that's just an attachment to the report.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was helpful. Anybody have anything more on the goals? There's might be some goals that we said we'd do, and I forgot about it already. I know there's commission goals in general. We're supposed to be working on nominating a property for historical designation. I know we haven't done much on that. We had some candidates. We were working with Ramsey County about getting the cemetery designated. And I still think that's doable, but it's some things like that all kind of broke down when Ginny left. So it's another one of those where it requires meetings during the day. And I have to say, working from home, I have a lot less free time than I did at the office. Everything takes twice as long working from home. So you'd be surprised how hard it is to make a photocopy at home. So I still like to get that done somehow. Does anybody have anything else on that? Obviously, we'll have an interesting 2020 demolition report, but we'll see how quickly things get moving on that. I know there's some properties that have already been demolished. There was a house on County Road C that was demolished over the winter. The garage is still there, but the house is gone. I'm trying to think of anything else. There's probably some other things I'm not even thinking of. So, anybody have any? Oh wait, we have more unfinished business. That's right. We have additions. Where's my additions? Hang on. Additions. Number 6, Menards. Richard, you have more on Menards?
We passed it through our commission. I went to give our report
Okay.
to them, and Miss Coleman basically was rolling her eyes and shaking her head. She didn't want me to get up and say anything, but she called for the planning and design review. So, but then I talked to the ones in charge of Menards. And I also asked them if they would take and make like a wall of the history of the buildings that were there. And they said that would be a great deal. So they were in favor of putting, like, getting the old buildings, the old gym.
Oh yeah, the gym, yeah.
and making a wall of from day one all the way up until the new building, when they get the new building done. They didn't have to go through the council.
What do we have to do to get that happening?
I talked to the owner, or the one that was in charge of it.
I mean, but what did he say? I mean, obviously we have to give them some pictures or some negatives.
Well, they're probably not going to do anything until next spring.
Oh, has it been delayed?
Well, they have to get all the other. The council voted. They passed basically everything except for one item. They held it off to the next meeting because the planning commission or design review wanted some other brick or something on the front of the store.
Oh.
And they went along with them, so it went to another meeting, and then the Cobra kicked in. But I mean, if it comes through we have something on our commission. This is what I was madder than a wet hen, and Mike can attest to that night. I voiced my opinion to him and to a few of the council that if it comes through our commission and we send a representative, we should be able to say our piece to the council on what the commission laid out.
Has that been possible with the online city council meetings?
We haven't had anything really. We haven't had really a meeting since.
Yeah, that's true.
Cobra come in.
Okay. Keep me up. What we need to do is loop in the historical society in on this, because it sounds like kind of like similar to the Coles project where they had the large photographs in the elevator. So if they do this at Menards, that'd be really neat. I think people would really like it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good idea. So stay tuned with Menards, I'm guessing.
Well, I think from what I heard, Sylvia could probably say that I think they approved the rest of it.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
This is Sylvia. Yes, the project is going through, and it's going to take a while. I think on the long end, it should take about 2 years to tear down and rebuild.
Do you know when it's closing?
I don't know for sure.
Okay. I've been taking pictures of Menards currently. I mean, I don't know if they want to include any pictures of what the Menards looks like now. But in case they do, we got some good pictures of the exterior of it. Because the new Menards look, I mean, it's a lot different. So that could be one of the pictures they use if they want.
One interesting fact about Menards, that the current CEO of Menards, his first job was at the Maplewood Menards.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, history.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it'd be fun to interview him. That would be kind of a neat little story, actually. Does he live around here? Do you know, or?
I don't know. I just talked to the gentleman who was the project manager, who was leading the project through the council.
Okay.
And he was just talking about how this is a really special store because of that fact.
Okay.
But their home office, I believe, is down the river on where is it?
Lacrosse
down
or something?
south, like Lacrosse. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's Lacrosse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we love our Menards too, so it's I go there almost as much as Target.
Eau Claire.
Is it Eau Claire? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it'd be good to know when that's gonna happen, I guess. If there's anything we could do to help. The Coles project was a great feel-good project, and it was very visible. Really showcased Maplewood good, well, and it got a really good feedback from them. We've done a few of those, but that was probably the best one we did, working with the society. So I think they got good pictures of the. What would be even better is if we had a picture of Warner's Hardware and Country Club there before they converted it to the Menards. It's not super old, but be from the 1970s before they converted it over to the Menards. So that'd be a great picture to find. Bob, you got that one?
What the? No, this is Rick.
Oh.
We got Warner and Country Club, and then you had the Killer Lounge in there.
But do you have a picture of it?
No, we had the picture of when they burned it.
Well, when it was the gem store, yeah. I'm hoping we could find a picture of when it was Warner's Hardware. Well, that can't be. It's got to be out there somewhere. It's not that old. So
I've seen a picture, but where I saw it, I don't know.
yeah.
Mr. Chair, wasn't it a country club also at one point?
Yeah, the Warner's and a Country Club.
And then one end, then it was Killer Lounge.
Yep, Keller Lake Lounge. Yep.
And then I think there was a dry cleaner somewhere over there too.
Now the Keller Lake Lounge survived after Menards, and then until they expanded Menards, and then they were gone.
The guy that owned that went out and bought Big Ben's out in White Bear.
Okay.
Yeah, Kaufman, I think his name was. He lived over by Rose Lawn, County Road C, and DeSoto or Enemy.
Okay. I suppose that's it on Menards, right?
So far as I know.
So if we hear anything more, if there's anything we could do, Richard, could you, or who's going to be in contact with Menards people, I guess?
I'm not over there anymore, so.
Could you give me the name of the person you talked to?
All I know is the one that he was with the corporate boy was Chris, who's over in he's in charge of the electric department.
Is he okay? So he's like a worker there now.
Chris works in the electrical department. He's in charge of the electrical.
Well, this is something we could have help from our city friends, unless Menards is done with the city. Just the contact of who to contact to give them the pictures if they really want to pursue it. Obviously, it's a small potatoes thing in a big project, but it's one. My problem with the modern Menards is they're very sterile looking. There's nothing distinctive about them. And then there's a lot of wall space there that could have some mural pictures of some kind on the outside or inside. Kind of like what they do with the Walgreens, if you've seen it on Larpenteur and Lexington. Kind of what I'm thinking of. It kind of beautifies the city a bit more and not just yet another Menards kind of thing.
So. Well, I know this Menards here, John Menard bought it, and his board of directors thought he was crazy because he said it wouldn't make money. And from what I've heard, this one makes more money than Oakdale and Midway.
Well, a lot of my money goes there.
So keep it going there.
Yeah, I keep going. Okay, we'll move on a little bit here to old business 7, which would be original commission minutes or original commission. What was the topic there, Richard?
Oh, the original 2000, August 14th of 2000 is when the city council voted along the planning commission recommended to the city council that the historical preservation commission be formed. They gave us, they were supposed to give us one a whole bunch of the zoning, reuse of land use, building permits, tear downs. We were supposed to see all tear downs before they gave the permits out. and some other, and it kind of got waylaid. I have my own, and I'm not going to say anything more, but I know a certain person, which will be nameless, kind of was spearheading a development in Maplewood.
Okay. So this was, so the commission, other commissioners know, this was not the original commission documentation. This was we were going to sunset at the end of 1999 or 2000.
2000, this is where
the rebirth of the commission, basically.
They continued the commission and was going to continue it, and also they voted the next month to accept the minutes for it.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's 2 minutes or 2 deals in there.
Well, we have to, I know we've had this before. We were trying to revisit it, and of course, this happened at the same time everything else shut down. Is what became of that?
I had given everybody a copy of all the pertinent information that was on the web page.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
So everybody should have it.
Okay.
The only one that might not have it would be Mike, but I told him what meeting it was and what have you.
Okay.
But my question is, sometimes I think councils pass stuff, but they don't ever go back to make sure that everything is followed through.
Okay. We were part of that was the like you say, the taking photographs of buildings before they're torn down. And I know the city has always been they don't want any delay in permitting like that. And they've been pretty good at compliance, the people that tear things down, because we have them take a picture. It's not, everybody's got a phone now. It's not like when we first started this, it was always, well, I don't have a camera. Well, I don't know if that really is an argument anymore, that people don't have cameras, but it's good practice, because things sometimes used to get torn down in Maplewood without getting a permit. And I know Dave Fisher was always keen on knowing when that happened, because sometimes there's wells that were not properly sealed, and that came back to haunt the city in the future. So that's just one of many things. So it's always good to, we're here to help the city, I've always thought, and that's part of our, the original recommissioning, and working with the society, of course, was part of it.
The thing is, Pete, here's the thing. That was almost 20 years ago. We have evolved a little bit, and being a historical preservation, we should be not just sitting in the back seat. Oh, you're tearing this down or what have you.
Yeah. Well, we weren't a certified local government in 2000. That came later.
Right. That move.
Yeah, that's when we really changed, is when we got the CLG status.
Yeah. But we never updated the ordinances. And on the deal of ordinances, if you look at a lot of the ordinances that the city has, each line will be numbered.
Yes,
our
that's
last
correct.
ordinance that we put in, they didn't put any numbers, because it's in the Minnesota State historical manual. We're supposed to be able to go in and change parts of ordinances as things develop that may need change, and it shouldn't have to be start from scratch on the ordinance. We should be able, okay, line 25, we don't need that on, we scratch it, and put a new line 25 or something on there.
Okay.
It's illegal, and that's where I think we're going to have the advice of the lawyer, city attorney involved in it too.
Okay. One thing I would like to see is the paperwork we used to become the certified local government. Wouldn't that be part of it? I'm assuming.
That's in another year. That's
That was like 2000.
time.
Yeah, I'd have to. I can't. Top of my head, I don't know.
So Pete, this is Mike Sable calling or responding. What I'm going to try to do is I have a meeting with our attorney Ron Beatty on Tuesday. It's part of my regular occurring meeting, and a couple of things I'm going to talk about is one is about the formatting of the original ordinance and the original language, and then the second part is what are the requirements the city has per the ordinance or per the language that's already there. And so once we get those two things sort of settled, then we can sort of start to address some formatting changes and then some reporting requirements that we have. And so I think I'll know more because obviously I'm new to this conversation a little bit. I'll know more on Tuesday, sort of where we stand and what the next steps are. But so I think there's a way to move forward clearly. I just need a quick conversation with the attorney before I do that.
Okay. I know a lot of it has to do after we got the certified local government status. There's certain things we had to do as a commission to keep that status. So that's something to bring up at least. And
Yeah, and I'll do that at that point too as well. That's a good reminder.
Okay. Moving on to, let's see, F8, which would be unfinished driveway, right? Or sidewalk.
Sidewalk. And this is probably for Sylvia, if she could. When it went through our commission, we said we would approve it with a post or gate or what have you. We went to the council, but at that time, we did not have the liaison or anybody. We didn't even know when it went to the council. Since then, they have not put the post or gate up there. And when I talked to Bob about it, it's not going to happen. They put a sign up there, Bob Jensen. Mm-hmm. And I says, well, what? Well, he'd have to get, and I kind of figured the reason he didn't want to put a post, he'd have to get out of his car, move the post so he could drive up. And that's why he didn't want to go through the gate. He went to the other side with the gate. So, but that's something that if the council said it was okay for them to just leave it, I'll be happy, or we'll be happy. But I think John made the motion at that meeting to put a post or something there. Am I not right, John?
Could you give me a little more information? I don't know what you're talking about, where you're talking, or where is the post supposed to be? Where's the sign supposed to be? Where are we talking about? The
post is supposed to be at the edge of the parking lot so they can't use the sidewalk for.
Which parking lot?
At the farm. At the farm.
Oh, okay. All right.
So that they can stop cars from just peeling in there and out, and a little bit of crowd control.
Okay. And so what kind of sign was supposed to be there?
We didn't say any sign. We just said it should be with a post or a gate there.
Which was approved, the post or the gate?
Basically, the post was there.
It was like a removable post, is what you're saying?
Right. The more I think about it, the gate would be better because a post in the wintertime, if they plow, the plow might hit it.
Yeah, I would say a gate would make more sense.
Right. But they decided to put a sign in there, slow down.
Yeah.
Oh.
And how many people read signs?
So did they complete the new driveway / sidewalk then?
Yep,
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
all the question is really is there should be some gate or post at the bottom of that thing where the,
right.
yeah, okay,
But-
well,
No, here's the thing, Pete. I don't, they had to take it to the council. We are only an advisory to the council. Did they present the council with putting a post or a gate or what have you there? Or did they say, we're just going to put a sign there?
so for me, and when we voted on that, the only thing I was really worrying about is the integrity of the kind of just more paving in the farm,
Right.
sign or post. I mean, that's really kind of a minor thing more for the society to figure out. It's kind of like, think about like the little entrance kiosk thing they built there. I mean, it's I think a scout project, right? An Eagle project.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's like that. I mean, if whatever works for the, they would know the best for controlling vehicles coming in there. So I'd leave it up to the society to figure that out. It's a temporary structure, whatever it is. So it's not like paving something where it's pretty permanent.
Yeah, but when they came for the site or the drive, what have you, that was what the commission said, a post in there. Right now I'm saying they didn't put the post in.
No,
They put a
Okay.
sign off to the side.
I have to go look at
Yeah.
it, I guess.
And I'm thinking after the winter, I'm thinking a post in there, it would either freeze down or the plow would hit it and shave it.
Mm.
So this reminds me, we should have invite Mike Erickson to come present to us as the new president of the society. These are the kind of questions I'd love to ask him, because I'm not really there at the society much to know what's the best answer for these things.
And right now, what I heard, they're going to be putting lights in the parking lot.
Okay.
They got the ground all lined up or marked for where the cable is going to go through.
Well, that only makes sense. I've been out there where it's pitch black at night.
Yep.
Sure.
Well,
Rich, I have no knowledge of this, post versus gate, or, what would you like me to investigate?
what if the council, when Bob Jensen came to the council back, where was it, in August? Sometime middle of summer last year,
Okay.
that's when we put we voted to accept it if there was a post there. Right now, I'm thinking it probably would be better with like a split gate like they have at Keller going out to the island. But
Oh.
we voted for a post, so I guess we can't change it.
Yeah.
But I don't know whether the council said they didn't have to put a post in.
Right. I don't remember the issue between much about the post or not post. I guess
That was the motion. John made the motion that to put a post in the center of it.
okay.
And I seconded it.
I'll see what I can find out, and I'll report back on, at the next meeting.
Oh, thank you.
Because I don't have any knowledge right now.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Okay.
Thanks. I know it's been so long since we've had any monthly meetings that.
We gotta get caught back up here.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll see what I can find out.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
I just realized I forgot my new business, which would be E3, and that's Leon Axman, who retired from the commission because he moved to Albert Lee, and I was wondering if I could request from the city to do one of those thank you certificates for Leon.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Bob.
I think we should have a motion on that.
Okay.
I'll make the motion that we recommend to the city council that we confirm and congratulate Leon for his service to the Historical Preservation Commission.
Okay.
Now,
Thanks,
second.
There, Richard second. Okay. Since he's moved away, I don't know if he could be at the council chambers to get the presentation because usually they present it at council. I could reach out to him, ask him about it, but I know he sold his house in Maplewood, so he's done here. But just having it would be nice. I think a nice gesture to get it to him somehow. So
What's Leon's last name?
AXTMAN, Axman, AXTMAN. He had
Okay. Thank you.
his license plate said that too. I think it was X. I always thought you should work at Axman Surplus, you know.
So Pete, this
Yes.
is Mike Sable again.
Mike.
I have asked our staff who have figured out his forwarding address, how we can get him some sort of recognition. And so we will work from our end on preparing a council recognition of him and then mailing whatever that looks like to him directly.
Oh, great. I think he'd like that. I don't think he really wanted to leave. He had fun on the commission. So I mean, he was happy to move somewhere else, but that was one thing I think he was missing. He had some fun with it. So, okay, that was the thing I forgot. Anything else I'm forgetting? I got a lot of illegible notes scratched on paper here, so I might be missing something. Anything else? I feel like I'm missing something. Unless that's it. I guess has anybody got any other business? None? Or do we know anything about July meetings yet at the city council? Are we still doing the Zoom? Are we going to be back in person? Does anybody know?
You still have staff presentation, so Mike gets to talk.
Okay. Thank you.
And
Sorry
Sylvia
about that.
can talk too.
Okay. Well, then I'll ask Mike. He's got his hand up anyway. So, are folks meeting next month in the council chamber?
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, as of right now, the meetings are still scheduled to be on Zoom. There's a discussion right now. We actually did a test scenario where we could have half of the membership in person and half of the membership online, depending on how they preferred it. A little bit of this depends on how the state decides to act in the next coming days of whether or not the governor's going to extend the emergency declaration order, because that expires on the 13th. So we are a little bit beholden to how the state decides to do it. So we are prepared to do either online or hybrid or in person. And so we're a little bit in a holding pattern, but we're ready to do any of those three options.
Okay. Good to know. Sylvia, did you have anything else you'd want to add?
I don't think so. I really, I do want to encourage everybody. I know it's really hard. There's a lot of stuff going on, like you said, but really, if you just have an opportunity the Wednesday before every council meeting, you can look at the agenda and just see if there's something you want to dig further, just to know exactly what is going on. It would really be helpful in, pointing to different things that you're really concerned about and you want to be involved in. And then, we are here to support and to work with the commission, and we'll do all we can. Yeah, but I'm glad to be here with you.
Thanks, Sylvia.
Thanks, Sylvia.
You're welcome.
One thing I did forget is there any Maplewood Area Historical Society update?
You went to the meeting.
Well, Pete, we had the Zoom meeting, the last two meetings, and I think we're going to continue that. Going forward, we did have a meeting last week. So nothing to report. A lot of events have been canceled. And we'll just continue like the schedule allows.
Have all the weddings been canceled?
No, the weddings are in the fall, fortunately.
Okay.
But we had plenty of events in the
Big
the
Red
summer,
Barn Sale, I guess.
and
is going on.
the show was put off that we had planned. So stay tuned.
What's the next event you think is going to be there?
Maybe Johnny Appleseed
No,
at
no,
this point.
The Big Red Barn Sale is the 17th of July.
Okay, the Big Rod Barn.
Is that still on?
Is that a new date?
That's the new date
Okay.
in July. It's on Facebook.
Okay.
This might, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this
Mr.
might be a good time to ask our council member, Sylvia Neblett, the status of the fireworks, how that is shaping up.
Yeah, that has been canceled. We are not going to see any large events this summer have been postponed. Not postponed, they've been canceled for the summer.
Okay.
And the Big Red Barn sale is actually Saturday the 18th, but you must make an appointment. You just can't come. So people know, if you're planning on attending, you get 1 hour of shopping, and then you have to go on your merry way so the rest of the people can come. So, but all large events for this summer have been canceled.
Well, I just found out that Whiteboro Lakes Market Fest has been canceled for the summer. There was another casualty so far. And of course, the car show's been canceled for North St. Paul.
Well, no, I saw they had it on Facebook the other day or tonight. The 5th.
What now?
I saw the car show is on in North St. Paul on that Friday.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it. I think they're done.
I know the concerts in Oakdale are done. They got Market Fest going, or they have their farmers market during the day there.
Okay. So for right now, we'll plan on another Zoom meeting then on July. Let's see. Hang on. I won't be here July 9th. So I'll be hopefully at Tomahawk Scout Camp the week 5th through the 11th. So I won't be here July 9th if there's a meeting, unless you guys want to have it later in the month. I'll leave it up to the commissioners to decide. You can have it the 9th, or if you want to have it the next Thursday, if you want me to be there.
That's why you have an assistant.
July 16th.
Vice chair.
Well, is the vice chair ready to make an agenda and a packet?
If you remember what I said, it's the staff. According to the open meeting rule, it's staff is supposed to do it.
Okay.
And you should have that packet with you because it was handed out to all of us.
Hey, well, then Richard, get ready to host the next commission meeting then.
Right.
Might want to bone up a bit on Zoom.
I got Bob here.
Okay. I can't wait to read the report. So if you guys do vote on the Maplewood Award for the next July meeting, let me know ahead of time so I can at least put in my vote. If you guys wind up voting in July for it. So give me a heads up before you guys meet, and I'll put in. Yeah, there's possible if it's Zoom, I could join a camp. I guess that's not impossible either. So I could.
That's right.
I wouldn't probably want to run it, but I could probably join in somehow. So maybe I won't completely rule it out, I guess. And I forgot, Bob, did you say Abe's coming or not? I forgot what you said.
We're gonna have to get back to you on that. I didn't know the dates changed, but we'll talk to you.
Okay. All right. So that's all I got. Hope everybody has a good start to summer.
Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
Thanks.
Is there a
And
motion
thanks,
to
Mike
adjourn?
and Sylvia
wait. Yeah,
Thank
Thank
you.
and John.
And John, and
Okay, stay
Margaret,
safe.
and Mike,
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
and Richard.
Thank
Is
you,
there a motion?
everybody.
Thank
Is
you.
there a motion to adjourn?
I make it.
All right, Margaret made the motion. Is there a second?
Second,
Who said the second?
John.
John. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Motion
Aye.
carries. There.